Good evening, it's Kuro. Got a ranked game in my Sims, going over the matchmaking. I'm looking at an enemy Colorado, Double Scharnhorst, Helena, York, Z39, and Akatsuki. So, taking a look at the matchmaking, kind of worried about potential hydro plays with the Z39 and the York. Aside from that, no enemy radar. Um, so, pretty pretty friendly matchmaking. Now, what I'm going to be going over is US smokes. I've seen a few posts in a couple different places kind of lamenting how much these ships have been power crept, and I just don't think it's completely 100% true. And Sims is a ship that probably more so than most has been power crept. I know there's a lot of people that have rated this ship poorly for ranked, um, especially since Mayhan just got the snot buffed right out of it. And I'm gonna talk a bit about playing Sims and a lot about how to use the U.S. destroyer smoke to prepare the battlefield for your team. So here, not a lot of teamwork here. I just know that a lot of Atlantas like to come up to these islands here. He's following me. I'm just going to go ahead and lay this smoke out. It's got plenty of hang time for this guy to move up in it. I'm throwing some of these long 10.5 kilometer torpedoes out here. And if you look, my ship alone, I'm setting an ambush up here. Let's see if I look back here at the smoke, kind of give you an idea of what's going on. Boom. So already my Atlanta is moving into the smoke. I have covered this area with 2 sets of torpedoes, and I'm coming around the island, and I am going to begin to spot whatever's up here, whatever is moving up in here for my Atlanta to shoot. Now, my Atlanta has the option, as the smoke wears off, he can either come back to hugging the island, or he can push up to this island roughly where I'm at now. Kind of his prerogative, but at the end of the day, my Atlanta now is in a really solid position to radar the cap, help support me if I run into a DD, and in general just shoot up anything that I spot. And there's a lot of synergy there that's going to make this a really tough nut for the enemy team to crack. So I do pick up the York, get him spotted, call on target on him. Maybe this guy has hydro up, maybe he sees these torpedoes coming in and realizes it's not safe for him to turn out, but for whatever reason he's still staying bow in, and that's just sucking him closer into my Atlanta, where my Atlanta can be more effective and my team's getting more shots into him. Since the enemy team doesn't have radar, I'm gonna go ahead and just dip my stern right in the cap. I've got engine boost up, just in case I need to dodge torpedoes.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
York does take a couple torpedoes there. And again, just suppressing, this area right now with torpedoes. I want, this entire area to be a place where the enemy team, they just don't feel comfortable. I do hang in here, pick up the cap, and I'm just taking a look at this York. I want to make sure this guy's not able to disengage. My team's finally able to put him down, and right away already calling target on the next ship, the enemy Colorado. So I've picked up ACAP for my team. It's looking like at the mini-map we've got
Torpedoes to port.
a duel going on at CCAP between our Gneisenau and the Scharnhorst. You know, that can be, you know, interesting who wins that fight. But at the end of the day, we're focused up here on the flank where we're working at. And talk about Sims a little bit. The build that I'm using with Sims is kind of,
Smoke generator started.
it's more of a unique US destroyer build. I'm using, excuse me, I am using a full gun build with Demolition Expert, and I'm doing that because this is still one of the most nimble destroyers in the game.
Stations. Reporting
This ship
position
is an
strategic.
absolute nightmare for ships to try to shoot at. Now here, I am pushing the Z39. Only reason why I'm hanging in here is I've got my Atlanta backing me up. I've got a Skane backing me up. There's a lot of good synergy in behind me. Now it's just working out to my favor. I guess this Z39 got aggressive, pushed in here, didn't have his hydro available, and that makes this a lot easier. And the Z39 goes down to some torpedoes from my Skane. So this is another area where I like Sims, playing it almost like a Russian gunboat, harassing these battleships with just decent fire chance. When you combine the Demolition Expert along with your fire flags and your rate of fire, you get a fairly decent rate of fire. It's going to be one of those things. You got to be a little careful that you don't overextend with this build, that you don't get too close, and it's going to rely on you really having a good idea of how to shoot at range with the US destroyer guns. And it can be frustrating against a maneuvering target. But at the end of the day, I like the synergy with all of the extra fire chance combined with some real fast loading, just spammy kind of torpedoes. I think there's a lot of good that you can do right there. So do pick up a fire right there. Looks like the Scharnhorst, oh, he's still ticking. I did spot the Helena. I'm waiting to see if this Scharnhorst is going to burn down, and I'm just pushing up here. I want to get into a position where I can try to work on this Colorado, and at the same time keep myself safe from this Helena. Again, spamming the torpedoes out in this channel. I see the Colorado's kind of turning in and pushing, and I'm just going to start working this guy over. I pop my engine boost. I'm preparing to, you know, try to be elusive and hard to hit with this Helena back here. I do see that the Scharnhorst, he's repaired his fire. He's looking like he's getting away. Trying to help the team to finish this guy off. Got a teammate that picks him up. Now, notice there that Colorado. I'm under 9 kilometers when he takes that shot. Just how hard this destroyer is to hit, particularly when you're on engine boost. Gonna watch this Helena here start to open up on me as I come around this island. You can see the shots coming in now. Watch the agility of this destroyer.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
Just getting narrow. Changing my angle. Just slamming on the brakes. Just ride it out. This is what I mean. This destroyer can absolutely dance.
Torpedoes to starboard.
I believe Sims is still one of the fastest US destroyers in the game, and you combine that with a 500-meter turning circle and an insane rudder shift. This ship really is a fun destroyer to play. So I do pick up the Akatsuki. Now I'm slamming on the brakes here. I don't want to go too far beyond this island here because this Helena is going to be looking to get shots in here at me. I do stop and I throw some torpedoes out there to see if I can catch this Helena. And then because nothing can spot me, gonna throw some shots out here. Maybe I can get some additional damage on the Akatsuki.
Torpedoes to front.
So just want to take a peek, try to spot that Helena for my team. Akatsuki, he's doing the same thing. He's taking a peek out of his smoke right there. And then I get a little bit of help here with an allied radar. And I'm just basically moved in where the Helena couldn't shoot me. And I'm just going to engage this Akatsuki, you know, nice and quick.
Engine boost deactivated.
Down he goes.
Destroyer blown up.
Switching target to the enemy Scharnhorst. Now my engine boost is off. You're gonna see some more dodging here. Do pick up a fire. Just gonna accelerate away. Gonna clog this channel with torpedoes. Got an unrepairable fire now on this Scharnhorst. And it's this kind of harassment that really does a lot for your team. You combine it with your ability to really open water gunboat battleships, and I believe you have the longest range torps in at the tier. You really start to have an impact where you can use your smokes almost exclusively for your team. I dropped 2 smokes for my teammates. I got a little bit of use out of the second one. But you just see how this ship kind of shapes the battlefield. Now here I'm just being cheeky, seeing if I can sneak up on this Helena. I've got AP loaded. I'm timing my push with the Skane and the Miyoko. And unfortunately, I have the just the poor luck that the Helena's waiting for me. But because I've timed my push, my allies are able to put the Helena down, and that's going to end this game here very shortly. So again, just covering some different build theories with Sims this game, covering US Smoke, how to use this to just chew up enemy teams. This is a destroyer that sorry, my voice is starting to go. You're not always going to have huge amounts of damage, but your fingerprints are going to be all over your victories because you're setting particularly your cruisers up for success, providing them with advantages that most likely the enemy team is not going to have, and that's going to start a very good positive impact, positive effect on your team, that hopefully it starts the snowball rolling in your team's favor and just keeps tilting things more and more in your odds until the enemy team just succumbs. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'll go ahead and link the build that I'm using in the description. I hope you guys are having a good night, and I will talk to you later.